Okay, it says, after serving captivity for 70 years in Babylon, the Persian king Darius conquered the Babylonians and allowed a remnant of Israelites to return and rebuild the kingdom. Right, so after the Persians well, Daniel knew that the Persians were plotting to take over Babylon, which they did. They ended up killing Belteshazzar, the son of Nebuchadnezzar, and took over the king of Babylon. Well, right there, when it says that King Darius, he allowed a remnant of Israel to return and rebuild the kingdom. If you read about Darius, there was a story about Daniel and the presidents and the counselors of all of Persia. And well, at this time they were busy taking over the Babylonians. But at this time, there was that story, Daniel was made the top president of three other presidents, or of a group of presidents, and they don't like this because Darius found favor with Daniel automatically as well too. Well, all the other presidents and all the other chief men of that time, you know what? I need to get this down. Let me read it to y'all. But let me just read it. It's right here. Daniel chapter 6 verse 4. Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning their kingdom, but they could find none occasion nor fault, for as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. But all the presidents of the kingdom, the governors, the princes, the counselors, and captains, they all went together to try to plot against Daniel to get him killed because they didn't like him. There's just envy, whatever. Just they didn't like him. They were jealous. But in that time, they try to plot against him, and they find Daniel praying to the Most High. So because at that time the princes, all those people, they made a royal decree that they should not worship the Most High anymore. And they went to go tell Darius this, and Darius was mad, but he had compassion on Daniel from the beginning. So he ended up putting, but the royal decree said that if they were to get found with this, that they would be cast into the lion's den. And Daniel, he was taken to the lion's den, and Darius, he got him thrown in there. But the Most High, he shut the lion's mouth, meaning he didn't allow the lion to hurt him. And very, very early in the morning, Darius came up and rose. And it even says he didn't even eat that night because he was worrying nothing about Daniel. He was worried for Daniel because he was a good man. But he rose up early in the morning, and he yelled, Daniel, Daniel, can you hear me? And he's like, yes. And Darius is all happy. But he had compassion on Daniel. The point is, he had compassion on Daniel, who was from the tribe of Judah, who he did let go back into the land of Israel to rebuild their kingdom. And the point is, I didn't finish the story, is just that those men who tried to condemn Daniel, they were the ones who were thrown into the lions, then they got tore apart. But the whole point was that Darius had compassion on the Israelites, and he allowed them to go back to their land to try to rebuild their kingdom. But then after that, we went into more captivity by the Greeks. This is in the year 331 BC. Alexander the Great conquered the Persians. The Greeks became the next world power. After Alexander's death, his kingdom was divided. Around 176 BC, Antiochus came against Israel and destroyed it. And if y'all ever read the Apocrypha, read on Antiochus, man. That dude was a devil. That dude, he got to the point where his pride exceeded. He was bugged out with pride. This man it's all prophesied about in the book of Daniel too, which prophesies about that wicked root which springs up from the Greek Empire. And this dude, man, Antiochus, was wicked as hell. But yet he got to an exceeding godlike pride that the Most High fucked him up right there, man. The Most High made maggots come out of his body, worms, and his flesh started stinking. So his own army could not stand the smell of his stink because of his body was decaying from the inside out. Antiochus was a wicked man. Just by Yahweh Shem Yahushai, if any of y'all act like this dude, man, I pray that y'all get messed up. But Antiochus was the one who oppressed the Israelites, gave them hell. He killed them, slaughtered them like nothing. But it says around 176 BC, Antiochus came against Israel and destroyed it. The city was burned down, and the women and children were taken captive. He also wrote a decree to his entire kingdom that people should abandon their practices and adopt the customs of the Greeks. All people should be one, and this is what they're doing today. But Antiochus, when they had spread that royal decree, that's where we started falling off ultimately. That's why it talks about there's no difference between a Jew and a Greek. Right there, it's telling you Antiochus made a royal decree over the Israelites, the people who are told about in this Bible, the people that this book is only for. It tells you in Psalms, Amos, Isaiah, this is only for Israel. But Antiochus made a royal decree that the Israelites, they should stop practicing what they did or who they knew, the Most High. They had to put up all the commandments and they had to become just like the Greeks. That's why when it talks about the Greeks in the Bible, there are talking about certain other the Greeks of an actual Greek nation, which you can tell if you use a little bit of knowledge. But when it says like there's no difference between a Jew and a Greek, that Greek, all the word Greek means is Hellenist, which means a Jew who converted their speech to Greek. That's all the Greek is. And that's ultimately what the Gentiles are. I mean, that's just one example, but there's two different types of Gentiles: natural Gentile and a Gentile state of mind, which is what these Greeks were. Not the Greeks who were oppressing the Israelites, but when the Israelites came out of that land under the Roman persecution, there was men speaking Greeks. And when the Bible talks about a Greek in the Bible, or I'm sorry, when the Bible talks about it, or when the Word talks about a Greek and a Jew, it's referring to the Israelites who put off the customs of a Jew and converted to Greek language, who were in that persecution at that time. And today they say that all people should be one in America, and that's the exact same thing they're doing in the Greek Empire and in the Roman Empire. So then during this time, the Maccabean revolt took place against the Greeks, and in the year 165 BC, the Greek Empire fell to the Romans, which that Maccabean revolt, that's a badass story too. It's in the Apocrypha and First Maccabees. It kind of reminds me of the 300, that movie. Because when the Maccabeans, they finally got the courage, man. They were going against the Greeks, and there was a small group at one point, and the father just said, "You know what? Gird yourself up, man." They were trying to get them to worship to a god, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, but correct me, send me a comment if I'm wrong. I'll have to go back and read it. But they were going up to an altar. An Israelite was going up to an altar to sacrifice to the certain gods they wanted, and because they were supposed to at that time. There was a certain time where they each had to do it. And one of the men of the Maccabean revolt, he ends up going down, breaking down the altar, and he's like, "You know what? No matter what you do, I'm gonna serve my God, which is Yahweh." And he had the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua right there, but he was like, "No." And he told his sons, "You know what, man? We're gonna fight, and we're gonna die. Pretty much, he's like, you're gonna die doing this right. We ain't gonna go according to no other custom or religion." They stayed according to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua's covenants, laws, statutes, and ordinances. And that's what the Maccabean revolt is. But then we're going to go to the Roman Empire, which I'm going to make another video